Have you ever set your alarm early to work out, only to hit the snooze 5 times and roll back over? Have you ever said that you were going to go to bed at 9 p.m. only to find yourself still scrolling at midnight? Or maybe you set a goal to work out and consistently didn't do it. We all have things we know are good for us. Exercise, eating well, going to bed at a reasonable hour. But just knowing something is good doesn't mean that we actually do it. And prayer is the same way. We know that it's good to spend time with God, and we desire to grow closer to God. We know that prayer is essential, but when it comes time to actually do it, distractions, excuses, and busy schedules get in the way. Simply wanting to pray isn't enough. We actually have to build prayer into our lives just like any other habit. Something that becomes second nature, like brushing your teeth. There's a phrase called the heroic minute. The moment your alarm goes off, you have a choice. Get up immediately or linger in comfort. And how we handle that moment says a lot about discipline and our priorities, and prayer requires the same intentionality. Father Jerome Codell puts it simply, true prayer, like true love, is a decision, not a feeling. If we wait until we feel like praying, it won't happen. Instead, we need a plan, a place, and a time. So first, have a plan. One of the big obstacles in prayer is not knowing what to do once we start. Having a simple plan removes uncertainty and helps us stay committed. Know when and where and for how long you want to pray. A good goal is to do a holy hour, but as we build the habit, we want to start small. So here's an example of a 15-minute breakdown. You want 10 minutes of scripture or Lectio Divina, daily readings. Then after you read the scripture, ask him to speak to you. Father, what would you say to me today? And then listen. And then spend some time interceding for your life and for those around you. And close in thanksgiving, thanking God again for today and for the ability to spend another day with him. Start small. Start attainable. Don't commit yourself to an hour right away. If you want to set yourself up for success, consistency is the key. If you miss a day, don't get discouraged. Just begin again. I found that accountability helps. It helps whenever you want to start a habit. Tell a friend, a spouse, someone at church your prayer plan and ask them to check in with you. Ask them to ask you what God is saying to you in your prayer. My men's group makes it a regular practice to ask me what God is speaking to me. So have a plan and get accountable to that plan. Start small, be faithful, and let your relationship grow naturally over time. Number 2, have a place. Create an environment for prayer. Jesus went off to a solitary place, and if he needed to step away from distractions, so do we. So find a consistent place, a chapel, a corner of your room, or maybe even a quiet place you like to walk. It's always good to find an opportunity to be with Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament, if you have the ability. But don't let perfect be the enemy of good. It's better to pray regularly than inconsistently. So in your home, limit your distractions. Put your phone on airplane mode or leave it in a different room. If you have family or if you live in a busy environment, find creative ways to get quiet. Pray before the kids wake up. Pray after they go to bed. Take turns with your spouse to find ways that you can pray. Small cues can help set apart your prayer space, lighting a candle, using religious art, or kneeling instead of lounging in your bed. Having a consistent place in a quiet environment allows you to know when and how you're meeting with God every day. Number 3, time. As Father Jacques Philippe says, the first battle in prayer is simply showing up. How much time? We'll start small, 5, 10, or 15 minutes, but be consistent. Set a timer so you aren't tempted to check your phone, and increase that time over time as you find yourself entering more into that silence and that relationship. Pick a time of day that works for you. Jesus prayed early in the morning, but find what fits in your season of life. It's important for us to set a regular time, because that regular time can be something that we can return to every single day. In the morning, in the evening, whatever it is, find a time and lock down that time. Father Jacques Philippe says, what matters is not how much we do, but how much God does in us. Our prayer isn't about putting in a long period of time, but actually allowing God to move in our lives. Our goal isn't to accomplish something, it's to be with God. But we want to be with God every day. So find some way to be with him every day. We grow in prayer the same way we grow in anything else, by doing it. The only way to pray is to pray. And the only way to pray well is to pray much. God isn't looking for performance, He's looking for presence. He wants to be with you. So ask God for the grace to pray. He desires to spend time with you every day. He desires to speak into your life. He desires to lead you and to guide you. So, what's your plan? Where is your place? And what time are you going to commit to? Start today, just show up and let God do the rest.